Prince tried to warn us. Let's go ahead and get straight into this video.
Don't be fooled by the internet.
Facts. That's what my mama said.
It's cool. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool.
Okay.
It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix.
We did see The Matrix. Chat. We saw The Matrix. I ain't know Prince was so like intelligent. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, this is Prince. Look. This is not my generation, chat. So I didn't know like he was just well educated, but it makes sense. Obviously, look how fucking big and global he is. So it makes sense for him to be that educated, because not anybody just gonna get big and global.
There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind.
Okay.
And the prize is the soul.
Damn.
So just be careful.
Damn. He basically saying like there's a war in the mind. Don't let the computer use you. You use it. Don't let things outside of you take control of your inside, because when they take control of your inside, then they have your soul. That's basically what he's saying. And your soul is the divine purpose of why you're here. It's to understand and to seek forth effort, to seek forth you. But if you are getting controlled by everything that's outside of you, you can't seek forth you.
Thank you.
I didn't know he was that wise.
It's October 9th, 1981. 94,000 fans have gathered at the Los Angeles.
94,000 fans. 1,000. Not 9,400. Not 94. 1,000.
Memorial Coliseum for the opening night of the Rolling Stones tour. But before Mick Jagger's performance, a 22-year-old
I got the like Jagger. Not that person.
Year-old black man dressed in a trench coat.
How old was
Before
he?
Mick Jagger's performance, a 22-year-old black man dressed in a trench coat, bikini briefs, and high heels walks onto the stage and starts playing his guitar, leaving the crowd wondering, who the fuck was this guy? His name.
Wait, he was only 22 when he started performing? Look, I'm learning about Prince just as much as you are. If you are learning about him, if you grew up with him, hey bro, don't bash me. I'm 23, gang. Now look, this was probably when I was still in my mama. Word. Probably still in my dad. Word.
Name was Prince, but in his head, he was already a king. But the crowd's confusion
Prince.
quickly turned to anger as Prince began playing his first song of the night. They had paid good money for their tickets and had waited hours for the show to begin. And now this is what they got? Beer cans, bottles,
Damn.
all types of food, and even shoes started coming towards the stage from all different directions, along with racial and homophobic slurs. Imagine
Nah, I can imagine. I can imagine
94,000 people throwing food at each other. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I got hit in the shoulder with a bag of fried chicken. Then my guitar got knocked out of tune by a large grapefruit, recalled Brown Mark, who was up on stage playing bass with Prince that night. And after just 15 minutes, getting through only 4 songs, Prince ran off the stage, humiliated and in tears. That same night, he caught a flight home to Minneapolis, despite being scheduled to open for the Stones again in just 2 days. Mick Jagger called Prince after the incident, saying, if you get to be a really big headliner, you have to be prepared for people to throw bottles at you every night. Jagger would ultimately convince Prince to come back to LA in time for the next show in October.
Hey, fun fact. Fun fucking fact. Bro, I got a main channel that talks about basically like philosophy shit. And bro, fun fact, bro, this is love. Them throwing bottles and shit at you, bro. I mean, they hate you so bad, they gotta show you that they love you. They throwing shit at you to, say that they don't want to see you and shit like that. But they're like, that's a form of love. Hate is a form of love. So, like, they doing something right. He keeping them there at least. I mean, all he got to figure out how to do is switch it to how he want to switch it. I mean, he intelligent. We already seen it.
11th, but Prince wouldn't change a thing about his performance or appearance. And according to keyboardist Lisa Coleman, things didn't go much better. We hit the stage and it was like a blood sport. The second day, they had actually planned it. Let's boo these people. They brought
Bro, these fans are ruthless. I wonder what type of music Mick Jagger was playing. They gotta be like some for them to like get violent with other people. Come on, gang.
bought things, shoes, apples, oranges. What was supposed to be Prince's big moment ended up being a complete embarrassment, rather than being an opportunity to cross over and appeal to a new audience as he had imagined. These people
Wait, so he was already Prince? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, was he already like cross over to a new audience? What was he doing before?
People did not accept him, nor were they interested in his music at all. In fact, Prince said he could even see the hatred in their eyes, something he had never experienced before. In spite of this, he wouldn't let these events break him.
Hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Hate is just another formality of love, bro. So, like, you seeing people that got hate in their eyes, bro, it's just they mad because they can't be you, gang. So, like, just understand, like, you doing something right, all you got to do is figure out how to convert it for you. Once you convert that shit for you, bro, you straight. I'm sure we gonna learn how he converted it too. Just stay for the video.
He wouldn't let their hatred or resistance stop him, nor would he change his character, appearance, or music to try and appeal to these guys. Instead, this would be the fuel that ignited the fire inside of him.
One time I opened for the Rolling Stones.
One time he opened for the Rolling Stones.
I got booed off the stage.
Yeah, we remember. It was just about 3 minutes ago.
Perhaps I should have played that shit.
What you mean?
Or perhaps I should have played this.
Prince vowed he would never be an opening act again, but instead of trying to fit the ideal rock star persona that the audience wanted, after that night in 1981, he channeled his anger into his music.
He started getting meaner and tougher, and you will see the attitude in the performances.
He worked day and night as if his life depended on it.
He had the strongest work ethic of any musician I've ever known. I've never known anyone who had a
Man, who are you? No, like, no disrespect though. Y'all, if y'all know this woman put it in the comments. Word.
stronger work ethic. I think he felt obligated to use the opportunity that he'd been given.
Vocals,
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. Don't that make sense, chat? Like, shit, I've been given a great opportunity to, like, be in front of, like, millions and billions of people, and they don't fuck with me. Like, so what you saying is that I just took out all my life to learn how to play the guitar, play all these instruments, sing my little heart out, but they don't fuck with me? First of all, Rolling Stone or whatever that shit was, Moonlight Jagger, all that shit, like they're rock bands. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think is Prince a rock artist? I don't think he's a rock artist. Purple Rain. That might be rock. I don't know. It's more like a little bit of both, like of pop, rock, and like he got a little bit. He mixing stuff.
drums, bass, keyboards.
Oh nah, that's rock. Nah, for sure.
Prince did everything himself.
Oh wait, that was him. This
This is
that was
back
him?
in the day when you actually had to play live instruments to record, which meant you'd usually hire session musicians. But Prince was different. He wanted complete control over every aspect of his creative process, and he moved at speeds that others couldn't keep up with.
It is true, I record very fast.
Yeah, he would program the drum machine or he'd play the acoustic drums, starting with just that one instrument.
Acoustic drums.
And then he'd come in and I'd hand him the bass and he'd play the bass and he'd put that down and
I don't
then
know what
he'd either
that
go to
is,
the
shit.
keys or he'd pick up the guitar. He'd play all the parts, do the vocals, because this was analog tape. So he'd sing his lead vocals, sing his backing vocals, add the final stuff. I'd be mixing it as the song was coming together. And usually a day later, it would be done. The song would be done, we'd print it, and then we'd move on.
And his real breakthrough into the mainstream would come just a year later with the release of his album 1999.
I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy. It makes sense though. Like, even like with YouTube, like you can't blow up without pitting every little piece of you inside of every little thing. Like in a reaction, I have to be me inside of this reaction for y'all to fuck with me. In the thumbnail, I can't use somebody else's thumbnail. I have to, because that thumbnail will limit me into another box that this thumbnail has already been used. I have to create my own thumbnail to create my own frequency, in a sense. It's like you have to create your own titles. You have to create your own self, because if not, it's not going to transpire how you expect it to, because you're using somebody else's rhythm. That's just how that shit works, gang. I was trying to figure out what that noise was, my bad.
As a black man in the 80s, he pushed the norms with his audacious appearance and personality. He was trying to do something that had never been done before. He didn't want to be just any rock star. He wanted to be
rock star. So damn, he is a rock star. Word.
Be the best. So while on tour for his 1999 album, if he wasn't on stage performing, he was recording more music.
1999.
If we were not on tour, we did rehearsals.
I was still in my mama's stuff. 3 more years, gang.
During the day, and then we recorded at night. If we were on tour, this guy would play a 4-hour sound check often. Not a 15-minute sound check like most rock stars do. He'd get on stage for 4 hours just because, you know, it's a stage and there's instruments and there's a PA, so why not just get up there and play? Play for hours, take the mandatory dinner break while they have doors, the audience comes in, and this is like in a, 14,000 seat arena, play a 2.5-hour show.
14,000. Play a 2.5-hour show.
It's like in a, 14,000 seat arena, play a 2.5-hour show, and then he'd get off the stage close to midnight, and now it's time for the night to begin. We would either go to an after party, and he would play the after party till the sun came up, or we would go to a recording studio and we would record all night until the last possible minute when we had to get on a plane or on a bus to go to the next city. You sleep on the plane, you sleep on the bus, you get to the next city, you get on stage, and you start sound check all over again. That's what we did. That was normal life. If you're awake, you're making music. And I think he felt like, I'm young, I have a record deal, I've got a band, I got money. What else should I be doing?
And in 1984, with the release of Purple Rain, he had officially reached superstar status. He had done it. He had proved that crowd in 1981 wrong. But the man never stopped making music. Over the course of his lifetime, he would put out 39 studio albums, not with a band or any session musicians to help, but just one other sound engineer and himself. And as music entered new eras that allowed for sampling and MIDI controllers to speed up the creative process, he never stopped doing things his way. He even warned against the potential consequences that technology would have on music.
One thing I think is very important, that if kids don't learn the craft of songwriting and playing real instruments and making real music, then we're going to lose this art form, and it's just going to be, technology based, and I don't know that there's much heart in that.
Damn, and that's real, chat. Like, I don't think y'all understand, like, how much it takes to be authentic. Like, authenticity is true, is like a breath of fresh air. But when you have, like, it's like authenticity is like the color in black and white. On bro, like, that's the best way I can explain it. When you have when everything is the same, like when technology makes everything the same, when AI makes everything the same, it's going to be hard for things to stand out because there's nothing that's authentic. Like, there's going to be everything's going to blend in. You get what I'm saying? And that's what black and white is. But when things are colorful, then it's easier for things to stick out with inside of the black and white, is what I'm trying to say. Damn, my bad, Chuck. Let me throw my phone over there. I didn't even know my phone was in my lap. hopefully that made sense though.
And
That's what
honestly,
Prince trying to say.
looking back now, he couldn't have been more right. By the turn of the century, Prince was a cultural icon, a symbol of freedom, and a resistance to the control of record labels.
When I first started out in this music industry, I was most concerned with freedom.
Bro, same. That makes so much sense. That's why he was using all the instruments himself, because he wanted freedom. That's why it makes so much sense. Oh my chat. When you want freedom, you want control. But then you realize control does not equal freedom. Freedom is being able to do whatever you want, and then be able to protect what you want through boundaries. So if you want to become the biggest rock and roll star, right? He would use and learn all the instruments himself because he wanted to express his freedom, right? So because he wanted to express his freedom through that, he decided to use all of these things by choice. But in order to blow up and become successful, he needs to get good. So in order to protect this choice that he made, seeking freedom, he had to then imply a boundary. Hey, I need to do this repetitively all the time. Because if not, I'm going to lose what I've learned, even though he's not really going to lose it. But that's how he felt. But that's him protecting his choice. And that in itself is freedom, being able to choose whatever you want and then being able to protect it so it can get you where you want. He is a living embodiment of freedom. And that makes so much sense because look at, like, he that's authenticity. That it makes sense. It's me. That is me. Word.
Freedom to produce, freedom to play all the instruments on my records.
Bro, I understand.
Freedom to say anything I wanted to.
Bro.
And after much negotiation, Warner Brothers Records granted me that freedom, and I thank them for that.
Okay.
Ever since my third album, I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise, and they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today. They're not going to exist much longer.
He became one of the first artists to own his master recordings, and once his contract with Warner Bros. Expired in 2000, he began to pioneer the start of independent business models for artists. He started up his own record label and was an early adopter of online music distribution.
Kids today, I mean, they're so talented and sophisticated. I mean, they can create their albums on laptops. They can do the artwork themselves. They can deliver it through the internet. They can be their own distribution service. I mean, what do we really need record companies for? I mean, really.
He was saying this shit in like the 19 whatever. That's crazy, bruh. For him, in early 2000s, 19 something, like that's crazy. Like, we still having problems with that today. That look like Michael Jackson right here, not right here.
How evil record labels could be, and he wasn't afraid to speak out on it. Outside of music, Prince used his platform to speak on topics that impacted society as a whole.
There's a disintegration going on that we really have to address. Our values have been lessened to a great degree. I think that we should address this as a community as to what it's doing to the culture. People can say all they want to, that there's no reason for these kids to listen to music and then go shoot somebody, but
facts. But what though? But what? Let me hear.
There's no reason for these kids to listen to music and then go shoot somebody.
Yeah.
But there's something that's triggering these buttons.
Yeah, facts. It's I don't know what that is, but you smart. Early 2000s, you was already on it. Why is these people listening to music and shooting people? I don't know, but it's something in the hemisphere that's making it happen, and I agree. Come on, gang.
How he warned of the potential negative outcomes that technology would have on music, he also warned about the implications that the internet could have. And those words he said way back in 1999 couldn't be more relevant today, as social media controls so many of our lives.
Facts.
Prince would even famously refuse to have his music up on YouTube. He wanted complete control over his image and how he was presented, and this refusal may have
Damn.
contributed to why younger generations aren't always familiar with who he was.
How do I make something that Prince would drink milk out of, you know?
Wait, what'd you just say?
Like, how do you make something that Prince would drink milk out of? Prince musician, what's his last name?
Prince. Okay.
You know, I'm talking about Prince from Minnesota?
No.
Oh, Prince.
Huh? See, that's the AI shit. that's the black and white nigga we was just talking about. Technology, when you consume by technology, when you consume by AI so early on, you learn so much within inside of technology that it consumes you for you to be the algorithm versus the algorithm allowing you to be. Look, I'm being me. So let me give you an example. I'm being me. So yeah, I might not get the most numbers, but guess what? Because I am a pretty colorful flower, niggas are gonna click me. When you are aligned with the system though, there is like, how can I explain it? Like, black and white, it's kind of hard to like differentiate anything with inside of it. So it's a part of the system. It's like you would rather go outside and play on the playground, but you gotta stay in school. You gotta stay in the system. And that's what, like, not to say Mr. Beast is like that, because I think he is his own self. But at the same time, the nigga a part of the system, gang. The nigga a part of the system. He found, I don't know how to fully explain it. Like, it's like if he wanted to, like, okay, perfect example. If Mr. Beast wanted to go and play basketball, could he? Would people watch him play? Okay, just like how people watch him make videos, and whatever video drops, will they watch him become a basketball player and seek that journey? Or would that make him stand out, and would that make him go find a completely different audience? That's what I'm saying. It's like I can do whatever I want because I am the pretty colorful flower, and niggas are gonna watch me regardless of whatever I do. But when it comes to like people that's embedded in the system where the technology taken over them because they don't know I'm not gonna say they don't know who they are, but they try to figure out who they are with things that's outside of them, it consumes them. That's what Prince was trying to say. Like I don't know if I got that off right. Because it goes essentially past Mr. Beast. It goes to a lot of people in America. But when you become a part of the system, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between who you are and the things that surround you. And for a lot of people that a lot of people don't understand that they have choice to choose between color and black and white. And a lot of people are stuck in black and white because of the systems that we've been programmed into. So it makes sense why Mr. Beast is in the algorithm all the time. It makes sense for that specifically because he is the system. Like it's not to say that he ain't getting what he want. I'm sure if I wanted numbers instead of me being me, and for the people that come back for me, Mr. Beast, in my opinion, I feel like Mr. Beast's content is very short term. Like short-term success. Like, I mean, he's gaining so much popularity and everything of that sort, but he has to stay, like, Mr. Beast has to stay relevant in order for his relevancies to still be here. He has to continue his system. Prince can die. Prince already died, and he's still well-known, still relevant, simply because he was the flower. Like, does that make sense? Like I know, and it's no shade. It's just depending on which route you take, and that's what Prince was trying to say. Like hopefully I got that out right, because we all still humans. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Beast, but in terms of like short-term success and long-term success, there's a completely different way you go about each. There's a system base, and then there's the authenticity base. Like you can follow this way, and it can get you from point A to point B to point D to point C to point E to point F to point, or you can be able to go from point A to point B to point C, back to A, back to D, back to E, back to here, and still not lose sight of yourself because you're authentic. This is system. This is authenticity. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
I mean, I've heard the word.
Little Red Corvette.
Yeah,
You know that song? He's a musician, but
Okay,
purple.
okay.
He was like a purple guy.
Gotcha.
But we should remember who he was, because although he left us too soon, his legacy lives on, not only through his music, but through his one-of-a-kind persona. After that night in 1981, when he got booed off stage, he never changed who he was. Rather, he stayed true to himself, never conforming or trying to please anybody. He guaranteed his success by outworking the entire industry, and once he got to where he wanted, he still wasn't satisfied. In a world full of artists who do what they're told, Prince could never be silenced. He spoke for
That's what I'm saying. Like, see, Mr. Beast can be silenced. No matter how much money you got, people can be silenced. But when you are authentic, you're that pretty colorful flower. You don't have to worry about what you can and can't say, because you're authentic, meaning people came to you because of who you are, not because of what the system that you brings. So, like, and that's not a bad thing. It's just the way you want to choose your life.
what he believed in and expressed how he saw the world. The predictions he made on technology and the internet were ahead of his time, and I can only imagine what he would have to say now with the rise of AI in music. So we must look back at who Prince was, a prime example of what a true artist should look like.
On bro. Hey, man. Look, hopefully I ain't take that Mr. Beast shit wrong, because it was no shade, no shots. He's one of the biggest YouTubers ever. But in terms of authenticity and system-based mechanics, he figured out what works. From there, he allowed the AI to consume him, because he was like, oh shit, this works. Now he's being overconsumed by what works, and then found his way within what works and continued to use what worked. You can continue to use what works over here, but through freedom, through boundaries. Like, Mr. Beast will see something at work and be like, okay, I can do this. I might not want to do this, but still do it because that's what their system lead them. Prince would be like, okay, I found out what works. Oh, this is what works? No, I'm not going to do it because I am me. I am who I am. In the same sense of being silenced. This over here, I do want to talk about this, but I can't talk about it because they might silence me, and they might do this, they might do that. I can't talk about this because I am who I am, and even if they silence me, I am who I am. And that's just all. That's the difference. When you let shit consume you, it takes your soul. When you are authentic and that pretty flower, it don't take your soul, because your soul is who you are. But if you allow them to silence you, if you allow the system to control you, then of course you're soulless, my guy. That's just how that shit work. But I love you. I'm out.